everybody. It's Norm from Tested here at this year's WonderFest convention, again with Jason Eaton.
Oh, we meet again.
Yes, Jason, you every year gather a bunch of model makers to contribute to a group show.
Yes.
There's a challenge. In past years, you know, you did the Death Star towers, you've done various mashups of, shuttles and the like.
Yep.
This year, Time Machine.
We picked the new Aoshima 1/24th scale Time Machine, new tooling. It was a brand new kit. In fact, when we decided to do this, the kit kind of was still trickling in. So a couple months it took for it to get into everybody's hands. It's a really nice, intricate, lots of little parts. And the challenge was basically just take this kit and turn it into something, and anything.
Mash it up.
Mash it up. You don't have to turn something else into a time machine. You can just go nuts, as long as you use the same base kit.
So how much of a base kit do you need to retain for it to work?
That is an excellent question. I would say if the viewer can pick out like 5 or 6 key elements, I feel like it's a success.
Yeah. Is that how you think about when you're setting up these challenges? Like, DeLorean Time Machine is an iconic vehicle. People are going to get it.
I feel like there needs to be a hook for the subject matter, and there needs to be a couple of constraints to keep people creative, and just for, the workings of the challenge, there needs to be a little bit of. It's not exactly direct. I never want to stifle creativity, but there definitely needs to be a little bit of a box that we put everybody into.
Right.
With the challenge.
When you're picking then scale, 1/24th scale, obviously you said a new kit, new tooling, so it's fun to play with something new.
Yeah.
But that scale, does it make it easier or harder for people to mash it up with
great
other things?
question. I feel like that's actually perfect because there's so many other vehicles that are 1/24th scale. So if somebody does want to turn something else into a time machine, I had an idea to take the Volkswagen bus from Back to the Future and turn the Libyan bus into a time machine, which I have all the ports for, and I started and I just ran out of time, and I'm like, so maybe I'll bring it next year as a straggler.
Yeah.
Like when this baby hits 35 miles an hour, or 38 miles an hour, like that kind of thing. I thought that was a pretty, and it's a nice size. The DeLorean itself is not quite handheld, but it's not like unwieldy. Yeah.
Manageable, because this is often someone's second or third project they're bringing, in addition to showing.
And as the challenge grows and we get more people, if we're going bigger and bigger, that's going to be a space problem. So
well, let's walk through the line and talk about some of these build-outs. And we have gathered here many of the Star Wars-inspired mashups.
Yeah, shock, there's Star Wars content.
Well, what's surprising is, I don't know how much of the communication goes back and forth, but even though Star Wars is a go-to theme, I don't see a lot of repeats. I know I see.
No, that is also pretty fascinating. Yeah. Everybody wants to do something that's part of their joy, their interest, and they just pick lots of different stuff. And we had a little Facebook group, so people weren't necessarily claiming things, but somebody said, I'm going to do this, and then I think somebody else was like, all right, I'll do something else. Like there were a couple instances of somebody having the same idea, maybe, but it all worked out really, really well.
A few of these make so much sense. They just blend so well.
Yeah. The snow speeder, the land speeder, but that one shocked me because it hadn't occurred to me at all, and it's such an amazing fit.
It is.
It like fell together like spatially, and I was like, wow, that's great. I mean, the DeLorean is kind of a wedge shape, and there's a lot of wedge going on in Star Wars design-wise, so you would intuit sort of the same kind of thing.
I love what Kevin did here with the snowspeeder, in that he turned the interior cockpit from the 2-seat into the single. Like the interior is redone completely as well.
It's fantastic. It's
wow.
absolutely fantastic. And then Quincy did this Slave 1, and this is genius to me because at first glance, it looks
very
like
standard.
The Slave 1. Right. Because Lauren had picked a Porsche car kit, so you've got fenders. I mean, there was just this, it all just fell into place. My favorite thing about this one is that he got the chromed rims to look like the halogen quartz lamps. It's like that sort of bluish, like almost anodized look.
It's a very deconstructed DeLorean.
Yes.
With the doors and but again, this anchors it. The wheels and the rims.
And when you start looking, you'll start seeing the same design elements. I love looking at all of these as a whole because now you've got like little key parts repeating in wildly different
Right. As
areas.
you and the other model makers deconstruct this 1/24th scale kit, obviously you recognize the iconic parts of the DeLorean, but the iconic parts of now this model kit specifically. This particular part is so detailed, let's pull it out and place it, and now you can see that as a
Yeah.
motif.
Yeah.
Okay, at the speeder bike.
Yep. Bill George did the speeder bike.
Nice.
Again, another like, oh my God, perfect. You know, he's got the little pilot in there.
Yeah.
I love the base. You know, he added a little. It's rare to see foliage in a Star Wars model, so that's always kind of a treat. You know, it's like, oh, that's nice.
Just showing off.
Yeah, yeah. Jesse did the Pro Droid pod.
This is multiple.
It is 5 DeLorean kits.
I'm looking at. Oh, is it just the one side? No, it's really patterned.
Yeah, and
throughout.
if you look at the Pro Droid pod, you know, they used 5 model kit bodies, so it's the same sort of idea.
Yeah.
But this is so much beefier. It's kind of like the Cadillac of Probe Droid pods, you know, like
it looks
or the
dense.
Escalade, you know.
It
like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And again, you wouldn't get that unless you were pulling all that detail from that original kit.
Yeah.
There's a few more Star Wars ones, but this one we didn't move. It is yours. You know, and when I walked into the room, I'm like, does this belong here? And it's one of those you had to look closer, and you can absolutely see it.
Yeah, this is literally the Time Machine kit and some putty. I used nothing else.
Really?
And I don't know exactly the moment that I was like, I could turn this into the Idol, but it really, like when I had the idea, I could take, and I made this last year as an example of, you can go crazy, you know, and not just build, you could turn it into a sculpture. The back lights, you know, the backup lights, the rear lights, brake lights, I thought if I took those two and mashed them together, it's almost like that grimace of the fertility light. And then the eyes.
So it started from there. It started from.
Yeah, in the thought process, I was like, well, if I did do this, what would be sort of some iconic signature pieces? And I was like, oh my God, and then the doors could be the arms.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the wheel wells could be the legs, and the little Sheila Nagig baby could be the flux capacitor. You know, she's giving birth to the flux capacitor. And then.
Jason.
Yeah. And then the time vents are in the back.
Oh, so it's a full 3. Can we take a look?
Yeah,
oh my
absolutely.
gosh. There's a great weight to this too.
It's a lot of putty. Yeah. I just kind of just sort of added it, you know.
Oh
It's
my
very
God,
heavy.
the ears. Oh,
Yeah.
this is so good. Wow.
It was
And it's
fun.
perfectly blended.
Yeah. I was pleased. And then this is, you know, sort of a riff on the plinth that the idol sits on in the movie, but of course it's the hubcap and the plutonium chamber.
Is this
And
one-to-one?
Probably not.
Okay,
I have no
okay.
idea. I just sort of sized it
Got it,
for
got
you know
it.
what will fit on my shelf when I get home.
Got it.
Yeah. And then I was like, I need a sandbag.
Yeah.
But I also want it to be a goofy joke. And then watching the movie again.
The manure.
The manure. So D. Jones manure hauling. So this is like a bag of manure. Yeah. It's actually, there's a little cat litter in there, but clean. But I wanted it to have like a little bit of weight, and I wanted hopefully somebody to be a little nervous. So
So much creativity. Oh.
yeah. So that was fun.
Yes.
That was fun.
Okay, a few more Star Wars inspired vehicles.
Yes, Mandalorian.
Yes, the chrome.
And that was great seeing him sort of graft the body and you know, like really, do a chop, and then the Jedi Starfighter.
Again, a perfect fit.
And he did this like up until like yesterday. I mean, this came together so quickly. It was fascinating. It was amazing to see that happen.
The blending of the car with the shapes of wings and of Star Wars, it just works so well.
It really does.
It's such amazing work. Okay, we're gonna go take a look at some of the further ones down the line.
Cool.
Okay, so we have more actual cars now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So Blade Runner.
Blade
of
Runner,
course.
yeah.
2 Blade Runner spinners.
Yes, we have Deckard's sedan.
Yeah.
And then we have the spinner. Yeah. And they both completely work.
They suck. They really
It's
do.
really incredible.
It's like, you could drop this in the Blade Runner universe, and that would look perfect.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
But
absolutely
completely different paint jobs. I love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Benjamin, when he was working on this, was showing work in progress pictures, and Bill George weighs in, and he's like, he built the original for Blade Runner, and he's like, take a little, like burnished silver and just sort of, he was giving like, this is what I did on mine. So it's so mind blowing to me that like, a fan can make this model, and then the person that made the original filming miniatures like, here's what I did, if that works for you, kind of thing. It's like, what a world.
And Bill had rebuilt his. And brought it to WonderFest 2 years ago.
Yeah.
We hadn't seen that. And
so it's fresh in his mind.
Yes,
kinda,
and direct inspiration.
Yeah, and then George made the James Bond.
Yes, the little submarine.
Lotus. Yeah, which again, when he's like, I'm going to do that, I was like, oh my God, it's just
the
perfect.
same shape.
It's
We're talking about
just
80s vehicles.
Absolutely perfect.
70s, 80s.
Yeah.
It works so well.
Yeah.
Wow.
So good.
like you're inspired, your idol.
A little Frankenstein.
figure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was really tickled to see that. You know, like a little face.
Yeah.
A little Frankenstein head.
Okay, what I love about is the stitching. What he did.
The stitching, which was the stuff around the whatever that stuff's called, and then the fire. It comes with the flames in the kit,
okay.
and the flames are the hair, which I thought was also a very inspired use of the shapes. Yeah.
But similarly, really cool. You got the hubcaps as eyes.
You have to, right? I mean, it's just such an intuitive use of the part.
Okay, so we got Star Wars and Star Trek is also represented.
Yeah.
Interestingly, no Federation vehicles.
Right, very interesting. We have two, and we have Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Okay,
which is just a wonderful outlier that's not like, the Star Wars and Star Trek or Blade Runner. Yeah, two Klingon ships, and they're both completely different.
Yes.
Like
a TOS era one and a next generation one. The wings here really
it's fantastic. Yeah,
it's
and
again,
the
exact
it's
arch.
People thinking of the design of the vehicle and what it does, and then sort of taking those cues and applying it to a different subject matter that has similar vibes. I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah. The creative process, it blows my mind, and what people pull out when they're looking at iconic shapes, when they're looking at from afar, the general shape of a vehicle connecting to another vehicle. But then when you have pieces nulled out, when you're looking at sprue parts, right, and you're thinking, recognize, okay, that could be that gives me the connection point to another thing I love.
Yeah.
It's inspired. That's what it really
absolutely,
is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, you had a Mad Max tank.
Yep.
And so you're replacing that with treads.
Yep.
But I also want to talk about Voltron, because we got to finish the Voltron.
5 kits to make Voltron. I mean, incredible. Yeah. And it's just so, I mean, it really ties the room together, if you ask me. And the sword, I mean, he was putting it together for the very first time last night. He had never seen it all the way together, and you just step back and you're like, it's Voltron.
Yeah.
Like, it's incredible.
Yeah. So many of these pieces, you walk into the room, and I think Voltron, the Idol, are ones where you don't necessarily you have to do a double take, because you don't recognize it as the challenge vehicle, as the time machine. You kind of say, oh, that's a Voltron. Oh, that's the Idol. Yeah. And it's not until you look closer.
You're like, wait a
minute.
You
say, wait a minute, what's going on here? And then you look at the other things, like, oh my God, there's a theme here.
That's what I love about the challenge, is that it really sort of pushes people into a little more creative space than we normally are into in this hobby. Like, again, like making the Rebel transport, I'm very much constricted by the goal I'm trying to, the hit, whatever. And this is just let your hair down and have fun, and
Well, congratulations to you and the other model makers here.
I'm so honored and happy that people want to do this. It's really cool.
We'll have to come back next year and see the next
absolutely.
challenges.
Please do.
Thank you so much for giving us a tour, Jason.
Yeah, anytime.
Thank you guys so much for watching that video. I would be remiss if I didn't tell you we have some excellent merch. We have a 5-pack of demerit badges for sale right now at tested/store.com. We've got the I hung it off of level demerit badge, the I built the chair backwards demerit badge, the I hit my thumb with a hammer demerit badge. We've got the stapler in my finger demerit badge, and my favorite, I stuck the duct tape to itself demerit badge. Get yours now, tested/store.store. Tested-store. Tested. It's right here. There. Just click there.